the shocking battle between Luo Feng, 5 Chaos Master, Ultimate Arrow Master, and Yintuo had already spread across all 3 reincarnation eras and even reached the 2 Holy Land universes. But before the universe could recover from that news, an even more unbelievable report surfaced. 5 Chaos Master, who had somehow survived the deadly lava ocean, had crossed paths with Luo Feng once again. Their confrontation had ended in the most unbelievable way imaginable. Both warriors had plunged into the terrifying abyss above. Blazing Water Lake, the infamous 9th abyss, and according to every witness, neither of them had survived. The news spread like wildfire, leaving countless experts speechless. Some mocked Luo Feng's decision. Silver Wing Horde leader is a complete fool. Why would he fight someone like 5 Chaos Master? That man belongs to the first reincarnation era. Those old universe masters have nothing left to lose. They're already marching toward inevitable destruction. Even if they survive today, they'll still face extinction in the future. Luo Feng has cultivated for such a short time, yet he actually threw away a treasure as priceless as the Silver Wings. Finding another treasure of that level will be nearly impossible. Others simply sighed. At least he managed to drag 5 Chaos Master down with him. Some ridiculed 5 Chaos Master instead. If he had belonged to the second reincarnation era, he would have retreated after surviving Lava Ocean. Instead, he stubbornly chased Luo Feng until both of them died. That's exactly how those first-era lunatics think. Others were far more curious. Both of them possess multiple bodies. This isn't truly the end. I wonder what will happen when they appear again. And without the Silver Wings, how will Luo Feng ever challenge 5 Chaos Master in the future? Many people weren't thinking about either warrior at all. Their attention was fixed on the treasures they had supposedly left behind. If both are dead, then Extermination Godly Armor and the Silver Wings must still be inside the 9th abyss. I'm definitely going. Someone immediately laughed. There are 12 abysses. Do you even know which one they entered? Besides, unless you're a Universe Supreme Master, entering that place is nothing more than suicide. Regardless of their opinions, one fact could no longer be denied. After this battle, Luo Feng's name echoed throughout the entire universe ocean. Across the 3 reincarnation eras and the 2 Holy Lands, nobody dared underestimate the young human genius anymore. After all, Ultimate Arrow Master had perished because of him. Even 5 Chaos Master had been dragged into the legendary road to desperation. Elsewhere, conversations among Universe Supreme Masters soon began. Scorpion, are you planning to visit the Abyss? I heard both Extermination Godly Armor and the Silver Wings are still there. The other Supreme Master calmly shook his head. I already possess a Supreme True Treasure, so I don't need Extermination Godly Armor. Besides, nobody even knows which abyss they're in. He paused before continuing. I've heard the Divine Eye clan has already dispatched Universe Supreme Masters. Unlike lone cultivators like us, races value treasures far more. Then a faint smile appeared on his face. Still, that Silver Wings treasure interests me. It may be the very first treasure beneath the Supreme True. Treasure level capable of controlling space and time. His companion nodded. That's certainly extraordinary. The Supreme Master chuckled. For us, however, it's merely interesting. Once a Universe Supreme Master issues an order, the universe itself obeys. Compared to that authority, even the Silver Wings aren't particularly useful. In that case, his companion replied, I'll remain here in the core region with you. Even so, countless Universe Supreme Masters were secretly tempted. Supreme True Treasures were unbelievably rare throughout the 3 lands of Extremis. Even Huge Axe, founder, had spent endless ages searching before finally obtaining one. Treasures only slightly inferior to Supreme True Treasures, like Extermination Godly Armor and the Silver Wings, were priceless beyond imagination. Naturally, they attracted attention from every corner of the universe ocean. Inside Luo Feng's magnificent Milky Way Horde Leader Palace, an invisible consciousness silently tore through space and time. It entered the palace without alerting anyone. Despite the countless immortal servants, elite guards, and powerful universe knights, including Donghua Country Master, not a single person sensed its arrival. Inside a secluded cultivation chamber, Luo Feng's remote ocean body sat quietly in meditation. Behind him rested a divine kingdom, transportation pool connected directly to his personal divine kingdom. Over the years, this body had repeatedly traveled to the ancestral god school to receive beast god inheritance. Suddenly, a powerful presence descended. Light condensed into the blurry figure of an elderly man with two curved horns. It was Sitting Mountain Guest. Luo Feng immediately stood and bowed respectfully. "Teacher." Sitting Mountain Guest looked at him carefully. "I've heard certain rumors. Tell me honestly, are they true?" Luo Feng nodded without hesitation. "They're true." He briefly explained everything. He had been hunted across Blazing Water Lake by 3 universe masters from Purple Moon Holy Land, together with 5 Chaos Master. In the end, he had deliberately dragged 5 Chaos Master into the 9th Abyss. Sitting Mountain Guest didn't criticize him. Instead, he nodded approvingly. "You made the correct decision," he explained calmly. "The silver wings are too valuable. If others believe you're weak, they'll endlessly attempt to steal them. But after this incident, many powerful experts will think twice before provoking you." Luo Feng quietly agreed. Then Sitting Mountain Guest offered another suggestion. "For now, allow the universe to believe your original body has died. Disappear. Focus entirely on cultivation. Tell me, how far have you progressed on the beast god path?" Luo Feng answered honestly. "I've nearly completed the 6th level." "Good. But don't stop there. Reach the 7th level as quickly as possible." Then his expression became unusually serious. "Remember this, Luo Feng. Taking risks is essential for becoming a true powerhouse, but recklessness and courage are not the same thing. Sometimes remaining hidden is the wiser choice. I suspect the Divine Eye clan will send Universe Supreme Masters to investigate. Be careful." "I understand." Luo Feng nodded respectfully. The projection gradually disappeared. Silence returned to the chamber. Although Sitting Mountain Guest had spoken only briefly, Luo Feng could clearly feel the concern hidden beneath his calm words. Back when Luo Feng had been weak, his teacher could protect him from almost any danger. Now, his enemies included 5 Chaos Master and perhaps even Universe Supreme Masters. Even Sitting Mountain Guest could no longer solve every problem for him. Luo Feng smiled faintly. His teacher was right. He couldn't continue relying solely on desperate gambles. More importantly, his understanding of the laws was still lacking. He hadn't even fully completed the 7th stage of the Beast God Path. His strength still had tremendous room to grow. Elsewhere, Primal Chaos City Leader never visited Luo Feng, high atop Thunder Island inside the virtual universe. Long Yan Master leisurely held a cup of wine. "Why haven't you gone to see Luo Feng?" he asked. Primal Chaos City Leader calmly poured himself another drink. "There isn't any need. He's not foolish. And honestly, I can't help him. He still possesses his remote ocean body. His earthling original body can be restored." After a brief pause, he quietly added, "Still, I haven't heard from him for quite some time." Long Yan Master smiled inwardly. "So you really are worried about him. You simply refuse to admit it." Meanwhile, far beneath the endless darkness of the 9th Abyss, the small crimson pyramid continued falling through the seemingly endless void. Beside it drifted the mysterious black pendant. For 6 straight days, Luo Feng had been swallowed deeper and deeper by the overwhelming gravitational force. Even he couldn't resist it. Inside Star Tower, Luo Feng remained perfectly calm. Several Universe Supreme Masters may eventually come looking for these treasures, but reaching this place will take them years. His crimson pyramid carefully matched the black pendant's speed. Because both objects were nearly identical in size, the terrifying gravity pulled them almost identically. Luo Feng followed it with incredible precision. Unfortunately, actually grabbing the pendant remained impossible. The instant his divine power extended outside Star Tower, it was crushed into nothingness. Even the mighty Golden Country couldn't compete with the overwhelming gravity of the 9th Abyss. During these 6 days, he had traveled through endless darkness, collided with mysterious objects, passed through terrifying killing zones, and even survived unimaginably scorching regions. The 9th Abyss was far more dangerous than any record left behind by Ji Fanzi. Even Ji Fanzi himself had only explored a tiny fraction before retreating. There was little reason to remain here. The place was unimaginably dangerous, yet it produced almost no treasures. Exploring it was simply not worth the risk. Then, Luo Feng suddenly noticed something incredible. The gravitational force, it's weakening. His eyes lit up. The terrifying suction had reached its absolute peak on the fourth day. Since then, it had gradually begun fluctuating, and now it was becoming noticeably weaker. Moments later, Golden Country finally managed to resist the remaining gravitational pull. Luo Feng burst into laughter. At last, his opportunity had arrived. Golden light spread outward once more. The enormous Golden Country enveloped the mysterious black pendant and began slowing it down, little by little. The distance between the pendant and Star Tower shrank. Finally, a massive hand stretched out from Star Tower. It firmly grabbed the mysterious black pendant and pulled it safely inside. Luo Feng smiled broadly. Success? The mysterious treasure was finally his. Luo Feng stood inside the Crimson Pyramid, carefully holding the mysterious black pendant in his hand. As he examined it, he noticed that the material looked almost identical to the cyan keepsake he had obtained before. Carved across its surface was an unfamiliar ancient beast with 9 sharp fangs, its fiery eyes making it appear like the ruler of endless darkness. Luo Feng studied it thoughtfully. So this black pendant represents the black secret space. The more he thought about it, the more amazed he became. The treasures inside Universe Boat are truly beyond imagination. Even the terrifying gravitational force of the ninth abyss can tear apart pinnacle true treasures, yet this pendant remains completely unharmed. That alone proved how extraordinary it was. A thought flashed through his mind. Could there be hidden treasures inside the black secret space? The possibility was extremely high. Throughout countless years, many powerful experts, from the first reincarnation era, had preferred hiding their valuables inside these secret spaces rather than allowing them to fall into the hands of future generations. Some experts chose to destroy their treasures before dying, while others concealed them forever. Every great being made a different choice. Luo Feng couldn't help but smile. I hope 5 Chaos Master left something valuable inside. After all, the black secret space itself was practically a treasure vault. Black keepsakes, cyan keepsakes, silver keepsakes. Each represented a completely different hidden space. Originally, Luo Feng had only intended to follow the black keepsake because he wanted to visit the black striped stone pillar and temper his willpower. He had never expected everything to unfold this way. Then another realization struck him. After enduring such a long period under the abyss's terrifying gravitational force without any divine power protecting it, the life imprint inside this pendant must already be incredibly weak. He immediately infused his divine power into the pendant and attempted to refine it, just as he expected. The life imprint left behind by 5 Chaos Master had nearly disappeared. After several attempts, it finally shattered completely. The moment Luo Feng branded it with his own life imprint, the black keepsake officially became his. Just then, boom! The Crimson Pyramid descended onto a vast layer of green water. The water emitted an astonishing chill, so cold that it rivaled the terrifying frozen lake fire itself. Luo Feng looked around cautiously. If I'm trapped inside the ninth abyss, escaping won't be easy. I need to understand this place first. Jai Fanzi had once explored the abyss, but the records he left behind were incredibly brief. Golden light quietly spread outward as Luo Feng activated the Golden Country. The ninth abyss was unimaginably vast. It was deep, complicated, endless. Even someone as experienced as Jia Fanzi had explored only a tiny fraction of it, perhaps not even 1/1,000,000th of the entire abyss. From now on, Luo Feng knew he could rely only on himself, so he began investigating every corner with extreme caution, preparing for what could become a very long stay. Far away, within the endless universe ocean, chaos airflow surged everywhere. 2 figures continuously teleported through space. At first glance, they looked completely ordinary, yet every universe master would instantly recognize them. These were existences that absolutely could not be provoked. The 3rd true master and the 6th true master of the Divine Eye clan, although the enormous single-eye phantoms behind them had disappeared, making them appear like ordinary humans. No one dared underestimate them. One of them spoke coldly. 5 Chaos suffered a humiliating defeat this time. Our Divine Eye clan has become the laughingstock of the universe ocean. His voice turned even colder. This time, we'll remind everyone what the Divine Eye clan truly represents. The two Holy Lands themselves avoided provoking the Divine Eye clan, not because the Holy Lands were weaker, but because the Divine Eye clan possessed 7 Universe Supreme Masters. That alone made them one of the most terrifying forces in existence. The end of the reincarnation era is approaching, the green-eyed man said quietly. This is our final opportunity. Anyone who dares oppose the Divine Eye clan will pay the price. He continued. Luo Feng and 5 Chaos both fell into the 9th abyss. The Silver Wings and the Extermination godly armor are both down there. Many Universe Supreme Masters will surely come, even Huge Axe Creator. The other expert nodded. Huge Axe is powerful, but he doesn't possess a Supreme True Treasure. He is no match for us. We possess 7 Universe Supreme Masters. We've inherited ancient techniques from the 3 lands of extremists. Perhaps only Teacher Origin could truly suppress us. As for everyone else, we have nothing to fear. If Huge Axe dares interfere, we'll make him understand the strength of the Divine Eye clan. Moments later, whoosh, whoosh! The 2 terrifying experts finally arrived at Universe Boat. Meanwhile, deep inside the inner region of Tilted Peak Sector, an endless waterfall thundered through space while gigantic floating rocks drifted among the currents. Suddenly, boom! A colossal battle axe appeared. It stretched more than 90,000 kilometers in length. Ancient runes covered its massive handle, radiating overwhelming power. The surrounding space itself split apart. The waterfall was blasted backward. Gigantic rocks shattered into pieces. Even the fundamental laws of the universe seemed to retreat before its terrifying might. A deep voice echoed, "Break! Boom!" Although the surrounding space was completely sealed, making teleportation impossible, the enormous axe forced its way forward through sheer power. Its speed continued climbing. 100 times the speed of light. 1,000. 10,000? Faster and faster. Until after only a few minutes, it completely broke through the sealed region. Then, it disappeared through teleportation. At last, Huge Axe Creator emerged from Tilted Peak Sector. Standing barefoot in the endless void, the towering giant looked ahead with calm confidence. So, the Divine Eye clan intends to use this opportunity to display its strength. He laughed. They're nearing the end of their reincarnation era. They've grown arrogant enough to even look down on the 2 Holy Lands. His eyes shone brightly. Teacher Origin once dominated the Universe Ocean. No Universe Supreme Master dared act recklessly before him. Then today, I'll use my own giant axe to establish my reputation. Divine Eye clan, you'll be my first opponents. Filled with confidence, Huge Axe Creator began teleporting again and again, racing toward Universe Boat. Meanwhile, deep within the 9th abyss, the Crimson Pyramid continued drifting slowly through endless darkness. Golden Country constantly scanned the surrounding area, yet nearly 99% of the abyss remained completely impossible to investigate. Luo Feng sighed. No wonder Ji Fanzi's records were so limited. I can only rely on my own eyes. Through the transparent walls of Star Tower, Luo Feng personally observed everything around him. This primitive method was now his only option. A full day passed. The more he explored, the more shocked he became. This abyss is unbelievably dangerous. A top-tier palace true treasure wouldn't survive even 5 minutes here. Even a pinnacle palace true treasure would be destroyed within a single day. Fortunately, I have Star Tower. Despite the terrifying environment, something puzzled him greatly. Normally, the more dangerous a place is, the more valuable its treasures become. But this abyss is the complete opposite. Countless powerful experts had searched this place throughout history, yet no naturally born treasures had ever been discovered. Any treasure found here had belonged to someone who died long ago. It simply didn't make sense. Still, Luo Feng refused to give up. Star Tower continued flying deeper into the abyss, passing one dangerous region after another. Then, Luo Feng suddenly narrowed his eyes. Far away, a black object floated through the darkness. He immediately changed direction. Go over there. As Star Tower approached, the object's shape gradually became clear. It was a black scale, one of the scales from the Extermination godly armor. Luo Feng's eyes instantly lit up. Could it really be? Without hesitation, Star Tower entered the violent storm surrounding it. Golden Country expanded once more. Despite the overwhelming interference, it successfully bound the scale and slowly pulled it toward Star Tower. Moments later, the scale safely entered the tower. Luo Feng stared at it in excitement before breaking into a smile. It's a genuine scale from the Extermination godly armor. I've found one. If one scale is here, then the rest can't be far away. Luo Feng carefully held the black scale in his hand. It was about the size of a wash basin, and although it felt slightly cold to the touch, it radiated an invisible aura of dominance that made even a simple glance at it feel intimidating. He couldn't help recalling everything he knew about it. The Extermination godly armor had long been one of the greatest legends throughout the universe ocean. Yet, despite its incredible reputation, it had remained in 5 Chaos Masters' possession for countless years. No other great being had ever truly wielded it. Because of that, almost everything people knew about the armor was based on rumors. Still, there was one fact that every expert, even Universe, Supreme Masters, agreed upon without question. Its power ranked just below that of a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng remembered the terrifying scene when 5 Chaos Master transformed into the mighty 5 Beast God. There was no doubt. The Extermination godly armor was perfectly suited to its former master. A treasure of this level, Luo Feng murmured, his eyes burning with excitement. It's even rarer than a strange object. Strange objects possessed incredible power, but they lacked the secret, engravings that allowed true treasures to unleash their full potential. No one knew the armor's true name. No one understood its complete abilities. That mystery only made Luo Feng desire it even more. I have to obtain the entire Extermination godly armor. Without hesitation, he infused his divine power into the black scale. Like the silver wings before it, this scale had endured countless collisions throughout the 9th Abyss without divine protection. Although it hadn't been damaged physically, almost every trace of 5 Chaos Master's life imprint had already been erased by the endless impacts. Only the faintest remnant remained. After just 2 attempts, Luo Feng completely destroyed the remaining imprint and replaced it with his own. The scale immediately acknowledged him as its new master. Yet moments later, he frowned. There isn't any information? He examined it repeatedly. Nothing appeared. After thinking for a moment, he quickly understood the reason. This is only a tiny fragment of the complete armor. Perhaps an incomplete true treasure can't transmit its inheritance. That explanation made perfect sense. Only a complete true treasure, or at least a functional section of one, could normally pass information to its owner. Luo Feng immediately made a decision. Time to begin searching. Star Tower instantly began moving through the endless abyss. At this stage, Luo Feng had almost no clues. He possessed only a single scale that recognized him as its master. It couldn't summon the remaining pieces. It offered no useful guidance. So all he could do was search slowly, trusting that more scales had scattered nearby. Golden Country expanded once again. Golden light condensed into a gigantic golden hand that swept across dangerous regions one after another. Carefully, patiently, nothing escaped its inspection. Then, Luo Feng's eyes brightened. The second piece! A moment later, the third one too! Just as he expected, many scattered scales from the Extermination godly armor had landed throughout this region of the abyss, one after another. The number steadily increased. Yet despite collecting more and more fragments, no new information appeared. The armor remained silent. Meanwhile, inside the Divine Eye Clan's miniature universe, 5 Chaos Masters suddenly frowned. Without hesitation, he left his quiet chamber and stepped onto the balcony of his divine palace. Looking into the distance, he respectfully greeted a familiar figure. First True Master. A blurry silhouette appeared before him. The First True Master calmly looked down. 5 Chaos. 5 Chaos Master immediately spoke. Previously, when my black keepsake lost contact inside Universe Ocean, I could still vaguely sense its location. I assumed the terrible impacts inside the 9th Abyss had simply destroyed my life imprint. He paused before continuing. But something strange happened just now. The First True Master's expression became serious. Go on, 5 Chaos Master explained carefully. I should still be able to vaguely sense the scattered scales of the Extermination godly armor. But just now, my life imprints started disappearing one after another. If the abyss itself were destroying them, large numbers should disappear simultaneously. Instead, they vanished individually. His voice became increasingly grave. The only reasonable explanation is that someone is finding the scattered scales, and each one is recognizing a new master. The first true master frowned slightly. Someone else is inside the ninth abyss? 5 Chaos Master nodded. Very few forces even know about the ninth abyss. The Divine Eye Clan, the human race, and the Purple Moon Holy Land. Anyone capable of entering that place would almost certainly be a Universe Supreme Master. It could also be a few powerful experts who happened to arrive after hearing the news. He lowered his head. But I believe someone is gathering my armor. The first true master slowly nodded. That made the situation far more troublesome. Someone had reached the treasure before them. 5 Chaos Master respectfully bowed. I've reported everything. There is nothing more I can do. Then he quietly withdrew. At the same time, inside Universe Boat, the third true master and sixth true master continued rushing toward the ninth abyss. Suddenly, the sixth true master's expression changed. He had just received a message through consciousness. Looking toward his companion, he spoke seriously. Teacher has sent new information. We have a problem. The third true master frowned. What did Divine Eye say? Among the 7 true masters, the first true master held the greatest prestige. Long ago, he had become a Universe Supreme Master under the title Divine Eye, making him the ancestor of the entire clan. The 6th true master answered immediately. Teacher says another great being has already entered the ninth abyss. They're collecting the scattered pieces of the Extermination godly armor. We're still too far away. There is no way we'll reach them in time. The third true master's expression darkened. So someone got there first. Then he clenched his teeth. No more holding back. We burn our divine power. We'll tear through space at maximum speed. The 6th true master nodded without hesitation. Instantly, both Universe Supreme Masters erupted with terrifying power. Although they possessed supreme true treasures, neither specialized in speed. Their movement still couldn't compare to Huge Axe Creator's overwhelming, attack-based treasure. Fortunately for them, they had begun their journey earlier. At that moment, Huge Axe Creator had only just entered Universe Boat, back inside the ninth abyss. Luo Feng continued searching like a man possessed. Golden Country transformed into a gigantic golden beast that rampaged. Through every dangerous region it could safely enter. It grabbed, swept, kicked, turned over every possible location. The number of recovered scales increased continuously. 9310, 9311. The initial excitement had long disappeared. Now, Luo Feng focused only on one goal: collect every single fragment. More than a month passed. By carefully studying where the scales were most densely scattered, Luo Feng gradually mapped their distribution inside the abyss. That dramatically improved his efficiency. Eventually, he recovered his 182,900th scale. Then, everything suddenly changed. Every collected fragment began trembling violently. Thousands upon thousands of black scales shot through the air. The newest scale became the core. Every other fragment rapidly assembled around it. An overwhelming aura exploded outward. The terrifying pressure reminded Luo Feng of the bloodstains inside the mysterious silver wings. Space, the same overwhelming willpower that had once nearly crushed him. Moments later, a gigantic black wrist guard floated in midair. Almost instinctively, Luo Feng stretched out his left hand. The wrist guard immediately flew over and wrapped itself around his wrist before, merging seamlessly with his arm. At the same time, a stream of information flooded into his mind. Luo Feng blinked. So, its true name isn't Extermination Godly Armor. It's Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. That was the original name bestowed upon it by its creator. Extermination Godly Armor had simply been the name 5 Chaos Master gave it after obtaining it. Unfortunately, the information was incredibly limited. Only the wrist guard had been completed. It contained a few simple engravings that enhanced attachment and defense, but its strength was nowhere near Luo Feng's strongest self-created techniques. Still, the name alone convinced Luo Feng of one thing: this armor was anything but ordinary. considering it ranked just below Supreme True Treasures. That wasn't surprising for Luo Feng himself. Since he could only activate the second form of Star Tower, he still couldn't unleash the true power of a Supreme True Treasure. At his current level, the Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor, the Silver Wings, and Star Tower all stood on nearly the same level in terms of usable combat strength. Luo Feng smiled. I wonder what this armor can truly do once it's complete. Without wasting another second, he resumed searching. This time, everything became much easier. After obtaining the wrist guard, Luo Feng could finally sense faint, summoning signals coming from the remaining fragments. He laughed happily. Now we're talking. Following those weak connections, his search speed increased dramatically. Days continued passing. More and more scales were gathered. Soon, golden-colored scales also began appearing. Luo Feng quickly realized something important. The armor's entire right arm was forged from golden scales. Every other section remained black. 32 more days passed. By then, Luo Feng had collected 6,920 scales. Based on his estimates, nearly 80% of the Crazy Demon Extermination Godly armor had already been recovered. Yet many connecting sections were still missing. The armor remained incomplete. Then, the instant the 6,921st scale acknowledged Luo Feng as its master, another astonishing transformation began. The wrist guard, battle boots, chest armor, every completed section suddenly flew together. Piece after piece assembled at incredible speed. The terrifying aura surged once again, crashing against Luo Feng's will like an endless tidal wave. Fortunately, his will had already been tempered inside the Silver Wing's inheritance space. He withstood every impact without flinching. Moments later, a half-completed Crazy Demon Extermination Godly armor floated silently before him. The incomplete Crazy Demon Extermination Godly armor floated silently inside the control room of the Star Tower, radiating a deep black glow, its body covered in dark scales, while only its right claw shone with a brilliant golden light. At that very moment, an enormous amount of ancient information surged directly into Luo Feng's consciousness. Although he couldn't read the mysterious characters that appeared in his mind, he instinctively understood every meaning behind them. A smile spread across his face. So this is the Crazy Demon Extermination Godly armor. Now he finally understood why this treasure was considered second only to a Supreme True Treasure. It was practically tailor-made for him. The newly received information revealed nearly everything about the armor. First, its defensive abilities were astonishing. Against soul attacks, it could weaken incoming damage to only 1/100th of its original power. Against physical attacks, however, its effect was truly terrifying. It reduced the force to just 1/100,000th. Its physical defense even surpassed the legendary force armor Luo Feng had relied on for so long. But defense wasn't its only strength. The armor consisted of 8,999 individual scales, and those scales could freely rearrange themselves into countless different forms. They could become powerful long-range spiritual force weapons, just as 5 Chaos Master had once assembled them into the fearsome 5 Beasts God. At the same time, the armor excelled in close combat. Its golden right claw was its deadliest weapon, containing the strongest offensive engravings in the entire set. Yet the armor possessed one final unsettling ability. The reason it carried the title Crazy Demon, as its wearer synchronized more deeply with the armor, their emotions and willpower gradually merged with it. The closer that connection became, the crazier the user grew. Eventually, they would forget everything except battle itself, transforming into a true berserker consumed only by slaughter. The madness even unleashed a mental shockwave capable of disturbing nearby enemies. Still, according to the inherited information, that mental impact wasn't particularly useful against powerful opponents. Luo Feng frowned. What an evil treasure! With a flash of black light, the armor flew toward him. Instantly, countless black scales wrapped around his divine body. He quietly stored away his force armor and allowed the Crazy Demon Extermination Godly armor to become his new protection. Crazy Demon. He repeated the name thoughtfully. This ability was both powerful and dangerous. Once someone completely lost themselves to madness, they would lose the ability to judge situations or make rational decisions. That could easily become fatal. No wonder 5 Chaos Master never relied on mental attacks, Luo Feng muttered. The insanity effect simply wasn't practical. Still, its incredible defense, its devastating ranged attacks, its terrifying close combat strength, especially that golden right claw, those alone made it an invaluable treasure. As Luo Feng carefully examined the countless engraving patterns covering the armor, he quickly judged their complexity. The defensive engravings, the combination engravings, those weren't too difficult. However, the engravings inside the golden claw were on an entirely different level. They're almost as profound as the Shiwu wings, though still slightly below the star tower. Unfortunately, he had no time to study them. The Universe Supreme Masters were already on their way. Every second mattered. I have to collect every remaining scale before they arrive. Half a month passed, while Luo Feng had needed a long journey to descend into the 9th abyss from Universe Boat. The 3rd True Master and 6th True Master traveled at terrifying speed. Soon they reached the sea of frozen lake fire. Above it, the entrance to the abyss waited like a gigantic mouth, ready to swallow everything. According to the coordinates, the 9th abyss is here. If someone is searching for the treasures inside, they won't escape us. Universe Supreme Masters possessed senses far beyond ordinary Universe Masters. Even without using domains, they believed no one could hide forever. Both experts sat inside Pinnacle Palace True Treasures. The surrounding laws retreated before them as they tore through space. Their speed climbed higher and higher. 500 times the speed of light, 1,000 times. Then, just before reaching the abyss, they deliberately slowed. Even Universe Supreme Masters respected the terrifying gravitational force below. Charging in recklessly would destroy even Pinnacle Palace treasures. The two figures descended carefully. Let's enter. We'll see who dares steal the Divine Eye Clan's treasures. The Extermination godly armor. The silver wings? They belong to us. Facing the approaching destruction of their reincarnation era, the Divine Eye Clan no longer feared anyone. Anyone standing between them and those treasures would become their enemy. With that determination, the 3rd and 6th True Masters disappeared into the endless darkness of the 9th abyss. Deep inside the abyss, Luo Feng sat within the Crimson Pyramid, anxiety growing inside him. Where are they? He had already gathered 8,999,999,993 scales. Only 6 remained. I need every single one. Closing his eyes, Luo Feng reconstructed a massive mental map showing where every recovered scale had originally been scattered. Using their distribution, he calculated where the missing pieces were most likely located. There are 9 possible regions, all near the outer edges. Without hesitation, he changed direction. The Crimson Pyramid shot toward the first destination. As he flew, Luo Feng couldn't help comparing his treasures. The sensing ability of the crazy demon Extermination. Godly armor is far weaker than the Shiwu wings. He could detect Shiwu wing fragments from several light years away. The armor's scales, however, could only be sensed within half a light year. That difference alone proved how extraordinary the Shiwu wings truly were. If only I could recover all 6 pairs. How powerful would they become? Meanwhile, the 3rd and 6th True Masters searched relentlessly. After 8 days inside the abyss, they finally reached the target region. Soon, they discovered scattered fragments of broken treasures. Their eyes lit up. These fragments belonged to Luo Feng or 5 Chaos. Then the remaining treasures must be nearby. They immediately intensified their search. Elsewhere, Luo Feng deliberately avoided using the Golden Kingdom. If he activated such a massive domain now, any nearby Universe Supreme Master would notice him immediately. Instead, he relied solely on the Crimson Pyramid. By now, he had recovered 4 more scales. Only 2 remained. A dangerous feeling filled his heart. The Universe Supreme Masters should already be inside the 9th abyss. The final 2 scales? There are only 3 unexplored regions left. The abyss was unimaginably vast. Since domains couldn't investigate most areas, even Universe Supreme Masters had to rely on eyesight. That gave Luo Feng a small advantage. It'll take me about half a month to search all 3 locations. Hope still burned inside him. I have to finish the crazy demon Extermination godly armor. Day after day, the 3rd and 6th True Masters continued searching. Luo Feng continued following his carefully planned route. At the same time, he remained extremely alert. Universe Supreme Masters could travel faster than the limits of ordinary laws. If he sensed even the slightest abnormal fluctuation, he would immediately hide. Then, his expression suddenly changed. A communication token appeared in his hand. It was the token left behind by Sitting Mountain Guest. The voice of his mysterious teacher echoed directly into his mind. Luo Feng. Teacher, Luo Feng answered immediately. Where are you? I'm in the ninth abyss. No, Sitting Mountain Guest replied. I'm asking exactly where. I've already entered the ninth abyss. I followed the gravitational currents all the way down. I've even found the third true master and the sixth true master. They haven't discovered me. Now tell me your exact location. Luo Feng froze. His teacher was here? He had personally entered one of the most dangerous places in the entire universe ocean. Teacher, you... Luo Feng was completely stunned. Sitting Mountain Guest's calm voice interrupted him. Even though you've become a universe master? Without me, you still won't be able to leave this abyss with the Star Tower. Do you intend to remain trapped here forever? At that moment, warmth filled Luo Feng's heart. His teacher had previously insisted he would never interfere. Yet when Luo Feng truly faced an impossible situation, he had quietly come himself. Deeply moved, Luo Feng immediately described every landmark surrounding his location. After listening carefully, Sitting Mountain Guest gave only one reply. I'm coming now. Luo Feng, his teacher explained calmly. The third true master and the sixth true master are both inside the deep abyss. Their senses are extremely sharp. To avoid alerting them, I cannot travel faster than 100 times the speed of light. Even at that speed, it will still take me about 5 days to reach your location. Luo Feng immediately began calculating. There were still 3 unexplored regions, where the final scales of the crazy demon, Extermination godly armor, might be hidden. 5 days. That was enough time to investigate at least one more area. Teacher, Luo Feng replied, let's change the meeting place. He quickly selected the closest location among the remaining unexplored regions and described it. After a brief pause, Sitting Mountain Guest answered, Very well. Even then, it will still take me nearly 6 days. The communication ended. Holding the transmission token in his hand, Luo Feng smiled. For the first time since falling into the abyss, he no longer felt pressured. Instead, he felt warmth. The moment Sitting Mountain Guest learned that his disciple had fallen into the deep abyss. He had rushed here without hesitation. Luo Feng had always maintained a certain level of caution toward this mysterious teacher. But now, that caution had quietly transformed into gratitude. 6 days later, a vast mountain range stretched endlessly across the frozen world of the ninth abyss. Streams of frozen lake fire twisted around the icy mountains like crimson rivers. Hidden within those flames floated the tiny crimson pyramid. During the past 6 days, Luo Feng had searched every remaining region he could reach. Yet, nothing. I've searched all 3 regions. The last 2 scales still haven't appeared. Only 2 pieces remained. Just 2. Suddenly, his communication token vibrated. Luo Feng. His eyes lit up instantly. Teacher! I'm here. You can come now, Sitting Mountain Guest replied. I've already reached the summit of the Triangular Mountain. The Triangular Mountain. Luo Feng recognized it immediately. Among the countless peaks, there was one whose side looked as though a giant blade had sliced it perfectly in half. Its surface was impossibly smooth, shining like polished crystal. Without wasting another second, the crimson pyramid burst from the frozen lake fire and raced toward it. Passing over countless mountain peaks, Luo Feng soon arrived at the summit. Broken pieces of frozen rock lay scattered across the peak, but Sitting Mountain Guest was nowhere to be seen. Teacher? I'm here. The instant the voice sounded, one ordinary-looking stone began changing color. Dark green light spread across its surface as it floated into the air. Then, a tiny cave opened within the rock. Its entrance was so small that even an ant would barely fit through. Come in. Yes, teacher. Shrinking to the size of dust, the star tower flew directly inside. The world within the stone completely shocked Luo Feng. It was as if the inside contained another universe. Everything glittered like transparent crystal. Countless miniature worlds floated in every direction. Mountains, forests, cities, Entire civilizations existed within them. Soon, Luo Feng reached the central world. There, standing calmly atop a distant mountain, was Sitting Mountain Guest, teacher. Sitting Mountain Guest slowly turned around. His gaze immediately landed on the black armor covering Luo Feng's body. His eyes narrowed. "Is that Extermination godly armor?" Luo Feng smiled. Yes. He had deliberately worn it, hoping his teacher would notice immediately. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to explain everything naturally. Sitting Mountain Guest stretched out his hands. "Bring it here." Luo Feng nodded. The half-completed crazy demon extermination. Godly armor floated away from his body and flew toward his teacher. Sitting Mountain Guest examined it carefully. Every engraving, every scale, every structure. The longer he observed it, the deeper his frown became. Finally, he looked up. "This armor? Its real name is Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor, isn't it?" Luo Feng froze. "Teacher, how do you know?" Even 5 Chaos Master had never revealed that name. As far as everyone in Universe Ocean knew, it had always been called Extermination Godly Armor. Sitting Mountain Guest chuckled softly. "I've encountered certain opportunities myself. I learned of the Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor long ago. This is simply my first chance to inspect one closely." He gently touched one of the scales. "It truly deserves its reputation." Then his expression became serious. "But remember one thing." Luo Feng immediately focused. "When using this armor, the deeper you enter the crazy demon state, the greater its power becomes." He paused. "However, the moment you completely lose your own consciousness, you will never wake up by yourself again." Luo Feng's expression changed dramatically. Sitting Mountain Guest continued. "If another great being immediately breaks your crazy demon state, you'll recover. But if no one is there, your original consciousness will disappear forever." Luo Feng took a deep breath. "I understand, teacher." Thankfully, his teacher had warned him before tragedy could strike. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded approvingly. "As long as you maintain inner calm, the armor cannot control you. And once your willpower reaches the level of a Universe Supreme Master, this madness will never overwhelm you." Then he looked back at the armor. "It seems incomplete." "Yes. I'm still missing 2 scales. The remaining pieces should be hidden somewhere inside the last unexplored regions." Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. "Then I'll accompany you. Completing this armor will greatly increase your strength." Without delay, Master and disciple set off together. 3 days later, Luo Feng suddenly stopped. "I can feel it! The summoning! It's coming from that direction!" Immediately, Sitting Mountain Guest changed course. The mountain-shaped treasure carrying them shot across the abyss. This mysterious mountain was another treasure personally forged by Sitting Mountain Guest himself. Normally, it remained in the shape of a giant mountain. Whenever traveling through Universe Ocean, Sitting Mountain Guest simply sat atop its peak. To outsiders, everyone believed this Sitting Mountain Peak to be a supreme true treasure. But during their journey, Sitting Mountain Guest casually revealed the truth. It isn't actually a supreme true treasure. I created it myself. It perfectly matches my own life form. I even fused special strange objects into it. So while it hasn't reached the level of a true supreme treasure, in my hands, there is almost no difference." Then he smiled proudly. "When it comes to refining treasures, no one in Universe Ocean surpasses me. Others spend endless ages searching for treasures. I simply create my own." Luo Feng could only smile helplessly. Who else could casually forge treasures like the Star Tower for a disciple, and then build another legendary treasure, solely for personal use? Even today, no one truly understood Sitting Mountain Guest's real strength. He almost never fought opponents head-on. Instead, he relied on countless mysterious methods that left even Universe Supreme Masters frustrated and helpless. That was precisely why every major force in Universe Ocean avoided, provoking this mysterious wandering expert. "Over there!" Luo Feng pointed ahead. The mountain treasure immediately changed direction. Moments later, it slammed directly into an endless frozen plain. Boom! The entire mountain shook. Yet, nothing happened. "There isn't any entrance." Sitting Mountain Guest frowned. Luo Feng closed his eyes again. "I can still sense the 2 scales." They're directly beneath us. Both of them became puzzled. The frozen earth stretched endlessly in every direction. There wasn't even the smallest crack. I've explored the deep abyss before, Sitting Mountain Guest said thoughtfully. This frozen layer has always been regarded as indestructible. Those scales shouldn't have been able to sink beneath it. But I know they're there, Luo Feng insisted. Sitting Mountain Guest remained silent. Finally, he sighed. Let me think. After waiting a moment, Luo Feng suggested, Teacher, let me go outside and investigate. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. Very well. Luo Feng entered the Crimson Pyramid. Meanwhile, Sitting Mountain Guest remained seated upon Sitting Mountain Peak. Together, they slowly searched every inch above the endless frozen earth. At the very top of Blazing Flames Lake, a gigantic axe suddenly tore through space. Boom! The terrifying weapon split apart reality itself before. Plunging into the frozen lake fire, it sped toward the entrance of the deep abyss. Only after reaching the enormous black vortex did its owner gradually slow down. Huge axe creator had arrived. I spent extra time traveling from Tilted Peak Sector. If the Divine Eye Clan came at full speed, they should already be inside. Without hesitation, Huge Axe descended into the endless darkness. Meanwhile, deep within the ninth abyss, Luo Feng and Sitting Mountain Guest had searched above the frozen earth for another 2 days. Still, nothing. Luo Feng felt increasingly frustrated. If the scales are beneath us, there has to be a way inside. Suddenly, Sitting Mountain Guest burst into laughter. Ha ha ha! Luo Feng! I found it! I've discovered the entrance. Luo Feng's eyes widened. You found it? Come here. The Crimson Pyramid immediately flew back into Sitting Mountain Peak. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled proudly. The 12th layer of the deep abyss has always been famous for having no treasures. Almost no one comes here. I never expected this frozen earth itself would hide such an incredible secret. He laughed confidently. Across all 3 reincarnation eras, the 2 Holy Lands, and the entire universe ocean, there are probably fewer than 3 people capable of uncovering this mystery. Then he couldn't resist boasting. When it comes to refining treasures, if I claim to be second, no one dares claim first. Even I needed this much time to uncover its secret. He glanced proudly toward Luo Feng. If you had come here alone, even after becoming a universe master, you would never have discovered the entrance. Luo Feng couldn't help smiling. Teacher, maybe we should go inside first. Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. I've become curious myself. Watch carefully. Boom! The entire Sitting Mountain Peak suddenly expanded to an enormous size before crashing onto the endless frozen earth. In the next instant, brilliant streams of light erupted from every corner of the mountain. Countless mysterious ancient engravings spread outward like living creatures. They drilled into the frozen earth beneath them. Then, across a region spanning 10 billion kilometers, an unimaginably gigantic secret engraving diagram slowly appeared across the surface of the endless ice.